And why should your songs be unfit for my halls? Come, sing me a song.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the movies whose soundtracks send shivers down our spines.
How'd you do this? I'll show you.
Number 10, V for Vendetta.
Tell me, do you like music, Mr. Finch?
While this dystopian political thriller uses some notable existing music, most prominently the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky, it also has some exceptional original tracks. Composed by Dario Marianelli, the soundtrack perfectly accompanies the growing revolution in this fascist version of the UK.
At which point, all V needs to do is keep his word. And then...
The moody darkness that pervades much of the early parts of the film gradually gives way to the bombastic horns as the people rise up against injustice. The soundtrack arguably reaches its transcendent peak during the moments like Evie's rebirth or the climactic revolution scenes, which never fail to give us the tingles. We know of no reason why this soundtrack should ever be forgot. Number 9, The Dark Knight.
Look at you. What do you believe in, huh? What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Everything about this superhero thriller film is iconic, and that includes its soundtrack. Jointly composed by Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, it is perhaps best characterized by the thundering drums and horns of its action sequences. Another standout track is the Joker's theme, appropriately titled Why So Serious?
Dead? That's 500.
How about a lie? You wanna know how I got these scars?
It heavily uses strings and alternates between two notes, even utilizing razor blades to achieve the eerie, unnerving sound the piece is known for. But whether its music is warm, resonant, or sets our teeth on edge, the Dark Knight soundtrack gives us serious chills.
He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight.
Number 8, Star Trek Generations. Composer Dennis McCarthy worked on 4 different Star Trek shows, but he also brought his talents to the big screen. As something of a crossover event between different eras of Trek, the soundtrack blends styles together wonderfully.
Cup of Earl Grey.
That would be perfect.
Tracks blend the choral music favored in TOS with the orchestral style favored in Next Generation. Meanwhile, Kirk's theme in the film is brassy and features snare drums. Music is especially effective in the action sequences, where it punctuates everything from fisticuffs to space battles. This soundtrack is every bit as epic as this crossover deserves and boldly goes to some incredible heights. Number 7, The Prince of Egypt.
Well, forgive us these smiles on our faces. You'll know what power is when we are done.
Given that it's a musical, The Prince of Egypt naturally has a great soundtrack. The historical epic's music was crafted by Steven Schwartz and Hans Zimmer. Tracks range from inspired gospel to hauntingly beautiful atmospheric pieces to fast-paced, energetic tunes. Both the songs with words and the background score lend the film a weight and majesty that's rarely been equaled by other animated projects. Many live-action ones have trouble keeping up too, for that matter. Even if the music doesn't get you to believe, it will still stir plenty of souls and send shivers down your spine.
With this staff, you shall do my wonders.
Number 6. Gladiator. Hans Zimmer strikes again. This time, the composer collaborated with Lisa Gerrard for this historical action epic. Maximus's journey of revenge would probably only be about half as spectacular without this phenomenal score. The standout is naturally the battle music, which never fails to get us pumped up. However, plenty of other numbers get all our littlest hairs standing on end.
I would put to the whole world. If you would only love me.
Commodus's theme is eerie and unnerving. Meanwhile, the sweeping strings and grandiose drums lend every shot of ancient Rome a sense of scope and history. The crown jewel, though, is perhaps the finale, which is sung by Gerrard and evokes chills and tears in equal measure. Number 5. Dune and Dune Part 2.
Bless the Maker and his water. Bless the coming and going of him. May his passage cleanse the world and keep the world for his people.
Zimmer really has the market cornered on epic movie soundtracks. However, not only do the Dune films not sound like Zimmer's other work, they don't sound like anything else, period. At once primal and completely alien, their soundtracks are a spectacle of sound. The immersive numbers use everything from electric guitar to soaring strings to choral voices to achieve a wholly unique feeling. We've certainly rarely heard something like the Sardakar's throat singing. As a whole, the Dune music has a transportive effect that hits like a dose of the spice. Number 4. Jurassic Park. Come on, you didn't think we'd forgotten John Williams, did you? The seasoned composer has many fantastic films to his name, many in collaboration with Steven Spielberg. But we'd argue that his most stirring is Jurassic Park. Scenes of dinosaurs running amok during the disaster at the park send our spines a-shivering. Where the soundtrack truly excels, though, is in conveying the moments of amazement and wonder.
They're moving in herds. They do move in herds.
Journey to the Island and theme from Jurassic Park notably possesses incredible splendor, giving us chills all over. This is pure auditory magic. Number 3. Inception.
Cobb, do you hear that?
First notice about 20 minutes ago.
I thought it was the wind up here.
Yeah, I hear it. It's music.
It's a Christopher Nolan movie. Do we need to tell you who scored it? It's Hans Zimmer. It's Hans Zimmer again. Inception is well known for the blaring brass fanfare that pervades many of its most intense moments. It's certainly perfect for the larger-than-life feeling of being inside a dream. However, the heavily electronic score is more than just loud noises that give us a thrill. Its themes, particularly the famous track Time, are filled with regret, tragedy, and longing. Much like Inception itself, this soundtrack is a long dream that we are always reluctant to wake up from. Number 2, the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I would rather share one lifetime with you than face all the ages of this world alone.
To call composer Howard Shore's soundtrack for these epic fantasy films masterpieces would somehow be an understatement. The Lord of the Rings movies have some of the most acclaimed and celebrated scores in cinema, and for good reason. The sheer range involved is incredibly impressive. There's the lighthearted Shire music giving way to the epic fanfare of the Fellowship, and dark foreboding tracks like the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. Scenes like the Last March of the Ents or the Ride of the Rohirrim have our bodies covered in chills thanks to Shore's unparalleled score. The sweeping orchestral music, paired with plaintive vocals, often sung in Elvish, creates a timeless, ethereal sound that simply can't be beat. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Man of Steel. Like Kal-El, this soundtrack achieves incredible heights. The Matrix franchise. In a word, whoa! E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Wonder Distilled. The Shawshank Redemption. Melancholic, hopeful, and as perfect as the rest of the film. Spider-Man. Gets our spidey senses tingling every time.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, The Lion King. There is no denying that the Lion King soundtrack slaps. The songs are utterly unforgettable and certainly goosebump-inducing. There's the sinister grandiosity of Be Prepared, there's the perfect romance of Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and if something doesn't stir deep inside you when you hear Circle of Life, check your pulse. The score is also fantastic, and it's composed by, you guessed it, Hans Zimmer. African and orchestral elements lead to the Lion King soundtrack having more to hear than can ever be heard. We never tire of trying to experience it all. Is there a spine-tingling movie soundtrack you're feeling chilly towards us for forgetting? Don't give us the cold shoulder. Rain down your favorites in the comments.
You can fly, you can fight, and you can...
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.